Welcome to Pro Wrestling Fanshow. I'm your host, Robert. Obviously, a couple days later here doing my WrestleMania review. Obviously, Sunday night was WrestleMania, the biggest pay-per-view of the year, and the Raw after is always a pretty good size Raw. So we're going to run down the WrestleMania card, then I'm going to throw a couple notes about what happened on Raw, and maybe go about what I would like to see happen from this point forward on our, through the summer here, getting ready for SummerSlam. We got Extreme Rules next month, and then we got the Payback pay-per-view in Chicago, then Money in the Bank, leading up to SummerSlam, which is one of the other big pay-per-views of the year for WWE. All right, WrestleMania this year. The dark match was for the Intercontinental Championship. We had Wade Barrett versus The Miz. The Miz, a long fall. 2 years ago, WrestleMania 27, he was the main event, world title, versus John Cena, winner, with The Rock as a special referee. Here we are 2 years later, he's in the dark match. He did win the Intercontinental Championship here, so he's a multiple-time Intercontinental Champion. It's kind of good to see Miz get that title back. Obviously, it was short, sweet, to the point. Nothing much happened. Miz made Barrett tap out with the figure four. First match on the card for WrestleMania was a six-man tag. We had Randy Orton, John Cena, and The Big Show teaming against The Shield. As everybody's seen The Shield in multiple six-man tags here, I'd like to see them break that off and do some one-on-ones with them. From following in the independent circuit, I know how good Dean Ambrose can be. We all see how great he is on the mic. His mic skills are second to nobody. He's that good. Seth Rollins, I know a lot of you diehard WWE fans don't really know what he's about yet. You're going to see, hopefully soon. If you look up stuff on from Ring of Honor, look up Tyler Black, former Ring of Honor champion. That's him. Former tag team champion. He was the shit in Ring of Honor. Obviously, he's got to pay his dues in WWE, work his way up. Roman Reigns, he's got a pedigree. He's related to the Rikishi family and that, the Usos and all them. So he's got a lineage he's got to live up to. We'll see what happens. But in this match here, once again, the Shield got the win. They're 3-0 now. I know Randy Orton, he can hit that RKO from anywhere. There was a spot where you had Seth Rollins doing a dive off the top rope, and Randy just jumped up and hit the RKO. It was actually one of the better RKOs I've seen. Obviously, on Raw leading up to this, you've seen the issues the Big Show was having with Sheamus and Randy thought he could control the Big Show. And obviously, neither Randy or Sheamus tagged him in this match. Didn't set right with Big Show, so after Shield won, Big Show decided to knock out Sheamus and Randy. So going forward, we'll see what happens with that little issue. Best way to say it. Next match we had was Mark Henry versus Ryback. Nothing special here. Just kind of the theme of the pay-per-view. Short, sweet, nothing special. There was a spot where Mark Henry, Ryback had lifted Mark Henry up. Mark Henry grabbed the rope, and Ryback kind of fell. When he fell, Mark Henry fell on him, obviously, and that was the spot that ended it. 1, 2, 3. You're looking at like, what in the world? It looked like the referee called for emergency people to come out. We thought maybe Ryback was hurt, maybe he had knocked himself out or something. Because it was a real quick pin, kind of an odd spot for a pin. Of course, after the match, Ryback gets up, puts Henry up on his shoulders, struts around the ring with him, and does his finisher. It's like, you're supposed to be hurt and you did this? What the? We couldn't figure it out. Obviously, I was watching WrestleMania with the group from Pro Wrestling Pulse. J-Man, Quaddy, and Ryan. Obviously, hopefully you've turned into the Pulse and seen their review already. I was actually live in studio for it. I was in the basement with them watching the pay-per-view, and I was watching the show. So I got to see the Pro Wrestling Pulse before everybody else. So, nothing really special going on there. The next match was for the WWE Tag Team titles. We had the team of Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston versus Team Hell No. Once again, short, sweet, to the point, nothing special happened. I know when the match first started, AJ Lee was up on the side of the ring, right there by the ropes, and kind of distracted Dolph a little bit. Dolph was trying to get her down before she got hurt. Dolph turned around to a roundhouse kick from Daniel Bryan. He went for the pin. Didn't get it, but kind of, looking back, it was just like last year when AJ cost Daniel Bryan his 8-second WrestleMania moment versus Sheamus. Kicked him 1, 2, 3, 8 seconds. So they were trying to play off that a little bit in the history that Daniel Bryan and AJ Lee have. At least finally Daniel Bryan, formerly known as Bryan Danielson from Ring of Honor, got his WrestleMania moment here. Lasted 8 minutes in a tag match, but it was more than 8 seconds than last year. Team Hell No retained. So going forward, I don't know what they're trying to do with this tag division. It's been kind of crappy here lately, kind of throwing people together, trying to create tag teams. You got a faction like the Shield out there. Why not put tag titles on them? That way any of the 2 out of 3 guys could defend it. But we'll see what WWE wants to do. It sounds like they don't really have anything going on for Kane or Daniel Bryan right now, so they're just leaving the tag titles on them. Next match, probably the most pointless match on this card, was Fandango versus the first ever undisputed champion, Chris Jericho. I can run down Chris Jericho's, title history and what he means to the business, but here he is at WrestleMania fighting Fandango. Really wasn't nothing special to me. Fandango, Johnny Curtis, he ended up getting the win. And of course, Chris Jericho is the type of guy, he'll job to somebody to get him over. He'll put people over, unlike some legends won't. But it's like, man, Jericho, stand up for yourself here, man. You should be a world champion. You should be that guy. Why are you jobbing for this douchebag? Hey, it's John Cena calling for me. Yeah, John Cena won't quit calling me. He's wanting my opinion on if he should turn heel or not. I'm not for him turning heel, but he's like, yeah, what about the kids? What about all this? I'm like, John, you got to sometimes look at the big picture. You got to change up wrestling. You got to change this character you're doing. I'm not seeing this character right now, man. And he was like, I don't know. So hopefully, if we get a John Cena heel turn here in the next few months, it's my advice. But if John's not going to listen to me, I can't make him. Next on the card, we had the world title on the line. We had champion Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger, the all-American American. America's American. Jeff Coulter, all this foul spew he's been saying about, Mexican Americans and how Mexicans shouldn't come across the border and foreigners and all this stuff, At one point it was funny, but listen to it for 7 weeks. Come on now. It got old and stale, it was a great storyline. You got the Mexican American Alberto Del Rio, former luchador champion in Mexico. Here he is in the United States as champion, fighting the All America Jack Swagger. America's America, and nothing really happened special in this match. It was short, and the winner is Alberto Del Rio. Made Swagger tap. Now what? You got a Mexican beating an American. What happened to all this spew crap that Jeff Coulter was saying? I think the only reason Swagger lost was his upcoming legal trouble. As you all know, he got that DUI for marijuana and whatnot. He's going to court over it, so we'll see if he gets suspended by WWE or what happens. So stay tuned. That'll be a very interesting thing to come out with. Obviously, I left out a little part here. We had, oh wow, lost my train of thought. Go figure that one out. But, yeah, so far this card hasn't been anything special. Next match on the card. This match was special. Very special. We had 20-0 at WrestleMania at The Undertaker versus CM Punk. All these promos that's happened on Raw the last few weeks, everything that's went on. First off, let me stop there. I want to have a moment of silence for the passing of Paul Bearer, one of the greatest managers in WWE history. You know, everything that Punk has done, it's just with Paul Bearer passing, The Undertaker, and they kind of put it at that made the storyline, I think, you know. Just the way Punk is, the sarcasm, the way he can, you know, cut promos and whatnot. And The Undertaker going along with it, you know, doing the stuff with the urn and saying stuff about Paul Bearer and Taker when he came in. And just all that build up in his storyline, you know, it all came out in the match, you know. Entrance for the match, you know, living color, played personality, played CM Punk to the ring. You know, that was a WrestleMania moment that can never be taken away, can never be changed, you know. As a fan of Punk, you know, I like the song, never heard this man play, you know, that I thought they broke up from what, you know, what Jamie was telling me. He thought they broke up too, you know. And they came back and played this, they sounded great. You know, Punk comes out, you know, it's clobbering time, just, you know, smiling. It's like he wasn't real, he was in the moment, you know, wow, this is big. I'm getting played to the ring, you know. That doesn't happen for a lot of people at WrestleMania. He gets in the ring, and I got a note, he's wearing purple and black, the old colors of The Undertaker. I mean, it was just a great play off of that, you know. Taker comes out, you know, you get the dark and the smoke and everything. And as he's walking down the ramp, you see all these hands coming up, which looked like represented his 20 victims at WrestleMania, you know. It was just so wow, you know. Just if you get a chance, go on YouTube, look it up, you know, get the pay-per-view when it comes out, you know. Just to see this moment, it's like, wow, you know. The art of a good wrestling match is telling a story. This match did it, by far, you know. It started out like that with entrances, you know. We're like, wow, you know. This is great, you know. I can go down list of stuff I wrote down, what happened in this match, little details. You know, it was vintage Undertaker at WrestleMania. Every vintage move the Taker has ever done, he did, you know. He walked on the ropes like he always had, you know. You've seen this move 100 times, you know. He's holding the arm of his opponent, he walks across the rope. CM Punk did it twice. I mean, just every move he would do, you know, Punk would do back to him, you know. I wrote down, you know, Punk walked on the rope twice, you know. Punk did a dive off the top rope onto the outside. This was, they were fighting on the outside. I mean, obviously it wasn't a no DQ match or no count out. I mean, the ref could have counted, he didn't. The ref let it go. Let these guys do what they do, you know. Undertaker was on the, Punk put Undertaker on the announce table, Spanish announce table. Punk got on the top rope and did an elbow dive. Of course, the table didn't break, but the spot itself was like, wow, you know. He did that. He did, you know. Punk used the tombstone, you know. Punk kicked out of a tombstone, you know. Taker goes, Punk kicked out of it, you know. Vintage Shawn from WrestleMania 25. Just everything that one did to the other one did back. And it's like, you know, they had the false finishes. They had the, you know, moments of, it's not over yet, you know, and just watch these guys go at it. It was a 22-minute match. If this match would have lasted more than 30 minutes, it would have been a 5-star match. And just to me anyway, it was a 4. I rated it 4 3/4 star. Jamie and Ryan, I think, said 4.5. You know, they would have given this match another 15-20 minutes. It would have been a certified 5-star match. You know, I did a top 7 favorite matches of all time for myself. This match is number 1. There's nothing that I've seen compares to this match. You know, yeah, there's been great matches that I haven't seen done recently. You know, 2011 CM Punk versus John Cena was a 5-star match, according to Dave Peltzer. You know, CM Punk had a 5-star match with Samoa Joe years ago. You know, but this is The Undertaker at 48 years old, and CM Punk in probably his prime. You know, this was better than Shawn Taker at WrestleMania 25, I think. So it's just, Obviously, Taker won. He's 21-0. Is this it for Taker? Is he done? Don't know. I know there's been some talk at WrestleMania 30 doing John Cena versus Undertaker. That's why I told John earlier on the phone, yeah, he needs to turn heel for this. Hold your title for a year, turn heel. Heel John Cena versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. That's what I want to see. You know, there's people that want to see Punk Taker too. You know, it seems like here lately, every match Taker does at Mania, he just sets a two. Would I have a problem with CM Punk versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 30? No. I would not have a problem. Because I hopefully will be at WrestleMania 30. But yeah, just the CM Punk Undertaker match was brilliant. You know, it told the story. They just didn't give it enough time. If they would have given it more time, these two guys could have gone more. But, you know, after that magnificent match, the next match was the no holds barred. If Triple H loses, he's got to retire. Had Shawn Michaels in his corner. You know, Brock Lesnar versus Triple H. Handful of years ago, Brock Lesnar, WWE Champion, he had some phenomenal matches versus Kurt Angle. Brock went off to do his MMA thing, and he came back to WWE, like a lot of people do. They leave, they come back. WWE is just like that magnet, just draws their stars back. I don't know what happened to Brock Lesnar when he was over fighting in the octagon, but he forgot how to wrestle. I don't know anything about MMA. I don't know anything about that sport. You know, I've seen advertisements for it. They fight in an octagon. That's all I really know about it. All I know is what Brock Lesnar could do in professional wrestling, he cannot do anymore. He needs to get his DVD, watch it, go, oh yeah, I used to be that good. I mean, people Brock Lesnar size don't do shooting star presses. He tried, he epically failed, but he did do it once, I know. But, you know, he can wrestle. He can't wrestle no more. You know, coming out in the, you know, boxer trunks, boxer boots, and gloves, and, ooh, I'm going to wrestle. You know, that's what he looked like. It's like, dude, you got to go back to what you were. This wasn't a wrestling match. This was a brawl. You know, I was expecting to be more blood, and there really wasn't, you know? Pretty much all Lesnar did was, let's see, belly-to-belly suplex. Lesnar did put Tripp on the table and actually broke the announce table, the same one that Taker and Punk tried to break. You know, Lesnar did end up F5ing HBK, which was sad. You know, it was the same as their Tripp and Lesnar's match at SummerSlam. You know, Kobe clutch or whatever the move's called when you got your arm bar thing into the steps. Tripp did this like 3 times. Brock would power out. Tripp would do it again. Brock would power out. It's like, come on, people, get this damn thing over with. You know, the match lasted longer than Taker Shawn. And this match just drug ass, you know. Yeah, it was bad, you know. Tripp ended up winning with the pedigree on the steel steps in the ring. You know, hopefully they don't do another match. Hopefully Lesnar can, I don't know, learn how to wrestle before his next wrestling match. I know there was talk of doing Lesnar and Rock at WrestleMania 30. God, let's hope not. The announced attendance was 80,676. They announced that right after that match. Your main event, WWE title line, champion The Rock versus John Cena. John Cena and The Rock have had, this is their 2nd year in a row having a match at WrestleMania. Last year's match at WrestleMania wasn't anything special, but it was better than this match. They tried to carbon copy that match. It didn't work. You know, it was just weird because, you know, there was no video package leading up to the match. It's like they announced the match, boom, they were out there. It was like they were rushed. It's It's like Cena and Rock didn't rehearse this match, and during the match, they're trying to talk to each other. There was so much talking. It was like, really, these guys are talking to each other, and very rarely do you even notice this. I turned to Jamie and I'm like, it was like they were trying to redo the Hogan-Andre match at WrestleMania. Where, Andre passed the torch to Hogan, And Corey Hogan said this in interviews where, Andre's like, I'm passing this on to you. I can't do this anymore. But it's like, The Rock isn't that big right now in wrestling terms. And John Cena is just this cookie cutter, whoa, champion, little Hulkamaniac, what do you mean the right word, just this, douchey little, ooh, I love the kids, ooh, John Cena. He's been playing the same character the same way for 7 years. He needs to do something different. WWE is so afraid. Oh, the Make-A-Wish. That's the Make-A-Wish is a great thing. I am so glad that WWE participates in something like that and gives back to people and to kids. There's nothing more important in life than kids. I have two nieces. My two nieces, they mean the world to me. But in wrestling terms, it's a soap opera. You got to change things up once in a while. Otherwise, when you start getting stale, people like, I don't know, my age, just, younger generation that started watching wrestling, G-Man generation and Ryan, they started watching wrestling in the Attitude Era. They seen The Rock and Stone Cold, at their height. They seen Shawn Michaels. They seen all this DX. And you watch today with John Cena and this character that hasn't changed in 7 years. It's just like Hulk Hogan was in the 80s. But it's like, when Cena comes out, you hear all these boos from the adults, the kids and girls like, yay, John Cena, yay! You gotta change it up a little bit, Obviously this match was pretty predictable. John Cena won. He's your new champion, It just, WWE's got to do something that freshens it up, just having John Cena being the same champion now that he was 7 years ago. Yeah, he's an 11-time champion, but yeah, his first title run, ooh, this is new. He's never had a world title before. When he won it the second time, it was the same as the first one. It was the same as the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and on and on and on, They've had multiple opportunities to do something different with John Cena. All right, WWE wants face of their company. You know what? Sheamus can be a face of your company. Randy Orton can be a top face in the company. CM Punk can be a top face in the company. You got people that can step up and do this position that John's in, but WWE won't do anything because, oh my God, it's John Cena. If we do it, the kids, the shirts, the merchandise sales. You know what? I think you'll sell more merchandise if John Cena was heel because more people like me and J-Man and Ryan and Quaddy would like him. Right now we can't stand him. We respect what he can do in the ring, but we can't stand the character. Alright, that wraps up the WrestleMania 29 review. Stay tuned. I'm going to do a little bit about Raw and a couple other points I want to hit on. Raw, night after WrestleMania is supposed to be the biggest Raw of the year, Most years it's that big comeback, that big moments, Miz lost title back to Wade Barrett. Pointless. Oh, yeah, the match that got left off WrestleMania. Tons of Funk and the Funkadactyls versus the Road Scholars and the Bella Twins. Thank God this match was left off WrestleMania because it was shit. It was shit on Raw. They're supposed to announce The Rock versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30. Rock didn't show up. He's hurt. He's legitimately hurt. Torn abdominal muscle and another torn muscle. But they announced this online. We're going to announce this match, but he's hurt, Come on now. How many people can lose at WrestleMania? Ryback lost to Mark Henry. But guess what? At Extreme Rules, we get John Cena versus Ryback for the WWE title. Yeah! Seriously? Ryback? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't want to see Ryback in a world title match. Ryback is doing the same thing that Goldberg did 10 years ago. It didn't work then. It's not going to work now. You know? Punk's supposed to be taking a leave of absence. There's almost no reason to watch wrestling. CM Punk's your WWE champion. Punk's going to be gone and Ryback's in a world title match. If I didn't have tickets to Extreme Rules, I wouldn't get it. I wouldn't watch it. But I'm already paid to go, so I'm not going to waste the money. You know, Triple H didn't lose at WrestleMania. Everybody else that's had a retirement match at WrestleMania, I don't know, the 16-time champion Ric Flair, woo! The greatest wrestler of all time, Shawn Michaels, lost at WrestleMania. Why can't Tripp? I'd like to see Tripp do one more match at WrestleMania 30. Talk Shawn to come out of retirement, which if Shawn does this, he needs to talk to The Undertaker and make sure he's got The Undertaker's approval since The Undertaker retired him. Triple H versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 30. I'm game. I'm for it. Shawn's got another match in him. You know, here's what you can do for WrestleMania 30, WWE. I hope you're watching this. Brock Lesnar versus The Rock. Undertaker versus John Cena. Shawn Michaels versus Triple H. What was the other match I came up with? CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's your 4 main matches for WrestleMania 30. What else happened on Raw? You know, nothing really. I mean, it's just WWE is so stale. So branch out a little bit. These 6-man look, they set up the 6-man tag at Chamber or at Extreme Rules. Excuse me. The Shield versus Kane, Taker, and Dean and Bryan. I mean, hell, you get Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins in the ring together. I'm going to go absolutely bonkers because you know what? I've seen this match in Ring of Honor. Look it up. Bryan Danielson versus Tyler Black. If WWE will do that, I'm all good. You know, The Undertaker come out, was talking, the Shield comes out. The perfect time to bring John Cena out. Have him help The Undertaker. Have him turn on The Undertaker. Hit the attitude adjustment. And just throw the mic at him and say, I will see you at WrestleMania 30. And have John Cena be the leader of the Shield. Perfect way to turn him heel. The perfect idea. WWE is so afraid to do anything like this, you know. They can turn Randy Orton heel, which he wants to be heel. He's dying to be heel. They won't turn him. You know, you got Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose doing nothing with him. Antonio Cesaro, your United States champion, not even on the WrestleMania card. Oh yeah, that's right, Vince isn't high on him. Why the hell not? He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. You got a guy in NXT called Cassius Ohno. Hey, your tag team division sucks. Let's do this. Let's put Cassius Ohno, put him with Antonio Cesaro. We can call them the Kings of Wrestling, and you got a great tag team right there. But you know, they won't do it. WWE won't do anything that's more than cookie cutter. Everything's got to be cookie cutter. Everything's got to be perfect. You know, you can't let the diehard fans that seen your product in the Attitude Era, you can't give them anything good now. So WWE, your shit sucks right now. Try to get it better, because I'm putting WrestleMania as one of the worst WrestleManias I've ever seen. It's, to me, probably, it wasn't, I mean, obviously the Taker-Shawn match, or Taker and Punk match, that was godliness. That was just it, the shit. Besides that one match, the rest of it was shit. You know, take that match away, this pay-per-view is just about as even as TNA Genesis was. So, you know, WWE, you got a long way to go. Please get it fixed before Extreme Rules. I don't want my money to be wasted. Well, thanks for watching. Have a great night, and please check out the Pro Wrestling Pulse. And I'll see y'all later. Thanks.